Congressman Russell Fry. He sits on both House Oversight and House Judiciary. Congressman, it's good to see you. So this is significant. Hunter Biden finally agreed to sit down on February 28th with your committees for the Biden impeachment inquiry. Can you spell out the impact of this?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, up to this point, Hunter Biden was headed toward contempt of the House, contempt of Congress, and then, you know, that ball kind of gets into the Department of Justice on whether they will enforce it, whether they would arrest him or not, or charge him or go after him. So for him to come in and testify, that's kind of what we wanted from the beginning. And so, you know, for the next month or so, we've got several business associates that are coming in for transcribed interviews. And at the end of February, Hunter will take his place. And, you know, he's kind of I think right now, at least, the last person that we have coming in before the committee.
So why a deposition is important is because the impeachment managers, you can really dig into things for as long as needed, right? As opposed to, you know, the 5 minutes that happens, you know, typically in a congressional hearing, member by member. But here's the thing, is he going to plead the fifth? How do you and other lawmakers get around him pleading the fifth?
Well, you ask him the question, and it's like any other court case where you have just a deposition that might be civil, and there's criminal elements there too. If they plead the fifth, there's not much that you can do about it, but you want to ask the questions and get them on the record. And if he pleads that way, then that's certainly his right under the Constitution. But he is coming in, and there are several business associates, Tony Bobulinski and others, who are coming into the committee. And so we're going to start to get, whether or not he testifies or not, we're going to start to get an even clearer focus on what is going on with this family, and particularly some of these business transactions and setups that they've had for years.
Congressman, let's listen to House Oversight Chairman James Comer. Watch this.
We wanted Hunter Biden to come in and answer questions. We have a lot of questions, and now he's going to have to come in and sit down and answer specific questions about specific transactions, specific meetings. And if he pleads the fifth and refuses to answer the questions, I think the American people can assume that this family has been on the take for a long time from our enemies around the world. So we're going to give Hunter Biden due process. He's going to come in. But I think at the end of the day, this is a huge victory for the House Oversight Committee. This is exactly what we wanted. And Hunter Biden learned that when you do things the right way, that you don't get to make your own rules.
Okay, that's Chairman Comer on Hunter pleading the fifth. What can your committees get Hunter to admit to? We understand you're trying to establish a connection between Hunter Biden and his business dealings, selling the family brand and the president's name and his government job overseas. What can you do to connect it to Joe Biden's actions while in office, showing that Joe Biden profited off of Hunter Biden's business dealings, when he was in office?
Well, I think, you asked some clarifying questions, right? I mean, we know a lot at this point. We know that Hunter wasn't qualified to be on the board of Burisma. He said so himself. We know that he was paid a substantial sum of money to do that. We know that Burisma asked him to call D.C. for help with this particular prosecutor. And so you have at least that scenario. It's time to get to the bottom of that and find out what he specifically knows about that setup and what Joe's involvement is.
Congressman Fry, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to see you.
You too.
Coming up, we have legal